The Light of Basra, the story of Ahmed ibn Sahl. This is the story of the ancient city of Basra, once nestled in the peaceful and beautiful lands of Iraq. During its golden era, Basra was a center of knowledge, culture, and justice. In a quiet corner of this city lived a 9-year-old boy named Ahmed ibn Sahl. Ahmed was an orphan. His father, a soldier, had died in battle, and his mother passed away when Ahmed was just 5 years old. Ahmed lived in a small madrasa near the royal palace and a nearby mosque. His only family was his teacher, Ustad Qutbuddin, who taught him the Quran and religious studies. Ahmed had a bright face, but his clothes were worn out, and his shoes were patched. Every day, he would clean the mosque, fetch water from the river, and whenever he found time, he would immerse himself in knowledge. One day, someone mocked him and said, "You're just an orphan. What can you possibly achieve in life?" Ahmed quietly replied, "If I carry the word of Allah in my heart, every door in this world can open for me." Ahmed loved reading and writing. At night, when the city slept, he would study under the mosque's light. He read works of Imam Ghazali, Ibn Sina, and other great scholars. Each book opened a new world for him, a world filled with wisdom, justice, and dignity. One day, he came across an old book titled Sahr al-Mulk, which said, "Even an orphan child, if sincere and filled with knowledge, can rise to become a king." That day, Ahmed made a vow, not to remain just a student of the madrasa but to become a guiding light for the entire kingdom. Each year, Sultan Taimur bin Late organized an intellectual competition at the royal fort. The brightest students of the city were invited. Ustad Qutbuddin nominated Ahmed, but many laughed. "What business does an orphan have in the royal fort?" they mocked. But when the competition began, with questions on tafsir, hadith, logic, wisdom, and politics, Ahmed answered each one with precision and depth. The Sultan, astonished, asked, "Where did you learn all this?" Ahmed replied, "From my loneliness, my pain, and my books." The Sultan offered Ahmed a place to study at the palace, something that had never happened before for an orphan. However, life inside the palace wasn't easy. Many nobles and princes disliked him, especially the chief minister, Jalaluddin Farhani, who feared losing power. One night, Farhani conspired, saying, "If this orphan becomes the Sultan's advisor, we will all lose our thrones." Ahmed was constantly monitored. But with patience, manners, and intelligence, he won over hearts. He designed a new system for the kingdom, where every poor child could attend madrasa, every sick person could get treatment, and every shopkeeper was held to honesty. People began calling him Fazilat Ka Tariq, the path of excel. But Farhani wasn't done. He falsely accused Ahmed of being a spy for a foreign empire. Ahmed was arrested and tied near the palace pond to be punished in front of all. But a respected scholar, Sheikh Ibn Marin, who admired Ahmed's knowledge, stood up and said, "If Ahmed is a spy, then knowledge itself must be imprisoned. And if being an orphan is his crime, then what justice do we uphold?" The Sultan realized the truth, arrested Farhani, and exposed his conspiracy. Ahmed was declared innocent and was made a royal advisor. At the age of 21, after the death of Ustad Qutbuddin, Ahmed rebuilt his madrasa and named it Darul Talim lil Yatama, the school of knowledge for orphans. People were amazed by what they saw. The orphans there became doctors, leaders, and teachers. Ahmed's system transformed the kingdom, crime rates dropped, corruption declined, and people respected Ahmed more than the Sultan himself. When Sultan Taimur decided to abdicate in old age, he said, "If anyone brought honor to this kingdom after me, it is Ahmed." Ahmed, however, refused the throne but continued to advise the rulers. The people began calling him Hakimi Basra, the wise man of Basra. At the age of 70, Ahmed passed away. On his grave, only one line was inscribed. He was an orphan, but he became the light. Every day, orphan children visit his grave and pray, taking inspiration from the boy who rose from the shadows to brighten the world. Message of the story: no matter how difficult your beginnings are, with sincerity, knowledge, and perseverance, you can rise above every obstacle. Even the smallest flame can light up the darkest paths. Don't let your circumstances define you, let your vision do that. If you were inspired by Ahmed's journey, remember, there's a light within you too. Believe in yourself, strive for knowledge, and be a light for others. Subscribe to Zara Motivation for more powerful stories that spark change, courage, and hope.